Hello, welcome back to yet another How to Bloke. Now I was going to get on the roof today, fix a gutter, but you can't see it, but it's blowing a hooligan out there, so I can't do that. So I thought today, I'll do a video on how to cook this head of cabbage. Now this is a crinkly kind of cabbage, kind of like curly kale, but not quite. So I can't get curly kale here for love nor money, so this is the closest thing. So now, what happens is, our four-legged friends, our beloved four-legged friends, you could give them one of those and go, lovely, lovely jubbly, it's Christmas time, I'm going to eat that. But the thing is, you see, if you cut that in half, put it in there and boiled it and served it up, people will go, oh really, are you serious? Are you serious? So, what you have to do in this recipe is to give the cabbage a bit of flavour, flavour. So what we're going to do is I'll show you how to do this. You might have been in the shops and thinking, ooh, that looks interesting, like colourful. What can I do with that? Well, now's your chance to learn. There are other recipes, of course you can do, but this is the family favourite one, this. So, I'll start yakking on. Okay, well now look, these are the outer leaves. Now they're going to be a bit muddy, but don't chuck them out because this particular cabbage is not that big. So let's have a look at these leaves here. Look, these are the outer leaves. Now you can see that one there has got a bit of muck on it, a bit of dirt on it. Now you can either rinse this off, see if it will come off, or you can cut it off. Now the reason we're rinsing these things is for two reasons. One, it gets all, if it might have a little bug or something on it, so we get that off. And two, we get any mud or dust or whatever off. So let's have a look at this one. For example, this one here, whoa, it's kind of good. We can save, we'll chuck that bit of it. We can save, I don't know, most of that really. So we'll save that. That's good. If it's got any holes in it, don't chuck it out. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get a big pan like that, and we're going to chop this up and put it in the big pan. I'm just going to get rid of that because that's looking a bit. So here we are. I'll just do a few of these, and then you'll get the idea, and we'll fast forward the film. So have a look on the back. Doesn't matter so much about the inside leaves, but here's a good example. Look, see, I don't know what that is. It looks like a piece of something fall down from the tree where it was near. It's okay. Right, so carry on. Now you have to look closely at the outside leaves. So we're going to chop up this cabbage here. If you find any bits, just chuck them out. Look, but you don't have to chuck out the whole leaf. That's what I'm saying. So this one is another outside leaf. Just check it over. See, there's a bit there. We'll just cut that off. So you're thinking, oh, I can't be bothered to do all that checking. Well, alright, it takes a little bit of time, but it's worthwhile. This one here, that looks alright. So, don't forget, we're double checking or triple checking the outside leaves because we don't want any surprises. So, this is another couple of outside leaves here. We're just going to cut that one off like that because that looks a bit damaged. We'll give these both a little rinse. See what happens. That's important with these cabbages. You can't keep them in a centrally heated place for too long because they go all limp. So you need to get, when you buy it, you cook it on the day you buy it or the day after you buy it. And don't just buy it and think, oh well, maybe I'll do something with that. You have to have like a little bit of a plan in place. What does this go with? Well, it's a vegetable, so it's going to have a sauce with it. So you can do it with most things. Fish, it doesn't really go with fish. Any old meat, sausages goes good with. Steak, meatballs. In fact, we're having it tonight with meatballs. So, gosh, loads of things. burgers, not burgers, but what do they call those things with that burger? Steak haché. Steak haché. Right, so now the reason we cut it up beforehand is because we can't do that cut it up like that after it's cooked. So we're just doing that. So now we're getting towards the inside leaves now. How much cabbage do you need? Well, because this is not a particularly big one, it's not a small one, but it's not a big one. I'm going to do all of it. The simple reason being, you can freeze this stuff and it'll keep in the fridge for like 3 or 4 days if you cook too much of it, so it's no big deal. And you'll find it moreish, you'll eat it one day and think, what? I wonder if there's any of that cabbage left. So this is really a good recipe for cabbage haters. You know, you can, the naysayers, the people say, oh, I'll never eat cabbage, doesn't taste nothing. Oh, really? Well, you try this one then and see how you're getting on. So, right, now the inside leaves are more compact, the first ones to grow, so you're not likely to find any dirt or bugs in those things. So you can go, you don't have to check them so much. It's just the outside leaves really. So here's the outside leaves, there's some more stuff in there. Why don't I cut this out? Why don't I just go like that and cut it out like that? Well, you can do that if you want, but why waste the cabbage? There's good fibre, there's good vitamins in there, you know, so don't chuck it out because it's all edible. Obviously if you've ever been to 5-star dining, you know, you might get carefully crafted cabbage leaf or something, but this recipe, in my style of cooking, you don't. This is what you get, and it's super tasty. It's a family meal, you know. So we can like shortcut this by cutting off more of the stalk and doing this. So it takes a little bit of while. You just can't bung it in water and cook it because nobody will want to eat it. They'll go, oh yeah, oh, it's cabbage recipe. Yeah, it's not very good, doesn't taste of anything. Now this is for this crinkly kind of cabbage, you know, the dark green one, looks like curly kale sort of thing. Curly kale, I think the curly kale is meant for this recipe. I don't think this kind of cabbage is okay as well. I can't remember the name of this cabbage, but it'll come to me in a minute. But curly kale is ideal for that. Now with curly kale, what I do, this is not curly kale, but with curly kale, I just bring it to the boil first to chuck it away because it can be a bit bitter. So you just boil it to the boil and chuck that water away, and you're good to go. But this one you don't. It doesn't taste. Doesn't have a bitter aftertaste to it. Right, you can see how big the pan is there. Camera ready person, focus on that. You think, God, that's a lot of cabbage. It's not, because it will all boil down. It all boil down. Now you can keep this cabbage. This bit here. This is the heart of the cabbage. You keep that and put it in a soup. If you're making like a vegetable soup or something, you can keep it and put it in there. I might do that only because I'm kind of running out of space in my pan and I can't be bothered to get a big pan out. So a bigger one than that. So that'll do. Right. So we're going to put a little bit of water in there. How much? Cupful, a mugful. So I'm going to put like that. That's a mugful. I'm going to put it on high. I'm going to put a lid on it. Where's my lid? Ah, there it is. Right, lid goes on there like that. Okay. So now what we're going to do, the second part of it, is we're going to make a little bit of a roux. Okay, so we're going to do this onion here. You don't have to put onion in it, but it's better if you do. So then goes our onion. You don't have to chew microscopically small slices, just give it some welly like that. Right, so there's an empty pan there, look. See? Empty pan. So we'll put that in there. Why are we doing this? This adds flavour. Because if you cook that like that, boiled it up, served it up, nobody would eat it. Well, they might eat it if they were polite, being polite, but they wouldn't leave your house saying, oh, I love that cabbage. I must do that cabbage again. Or give me the, oh please must give me the recipe. They wouldn't do that. Right, so now we're going to put in some lardons. These are pieces of bacon. If you can't buy these, make your own from a bit of bacon. Just chuck them in like that, just like that. Now, this recipe, well in this house, we're going to add a bit of garlic in there, but you don't have to do that. You can just leave it like that. So we're just going to put some frozen garlic in. Any old garlic will do. Frozen garlic in, how much? About that much. Right, so it's 1 or 2 cloves in there. Again, why? Flavour. Right, we're going to put this on. And I'm going to just gently fry this and bring this up to the boil, and I'll come back when that's done. Right? And we're back. Right, so just having a quick tidy up here. Always keep your kitchen clean as best you can anyway when you're working. Don't let anything drop on the floor because it's annoying. But anyway, why am I saying this? Okay, so what we're going to do now, look, coming up with this camera person. Right, that's our lardons, bacon bits and onion. Now, you want to cook it till it's like that. You see the bits stuck on the bottom there? You don't have to cook it like, you know, super duper a lot, but you need to cook it at least till it's like that. So keep the ring on max. Now, look at the cabbage here, look. How long do you cook the cabbage for? Well, until it kind of like reduces to at least half the pan. So it was full up, wasn't it? So it's not quite done there, so don't forget there's water in there, I'll show you. There's water in there. You just about see that water in there, see? Right. Don't fill it up with too much water, but don't let it boil out. I mean, dry out. So maybe we'll put a little splash of water in there. We're trying to get the flavour of the cabbage concentrated. We don't want it to be like cabbage soup. So, put that on there. I reckon that's another, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe. Okay, let's get back to this stuff. Right, this is going to be a roux. This is going to be a sauce to go with the cabbage. We're going to mix the cabbage with this sauce. Okay, so now because I can't, normally you make a roux with flour, but because I can't eat flour because I'm gluten intolerant, which is annoying, but that's the sad fact of it. I never used to be, you know. It just happened when I was 50 something. That's what happened. Anyway, you don't want to hear about that. So there we are. So this ring was on max. Look. So we're going to put some ordinary milk in here, just ordinary milk. Right, bit of a cheater's way of doing it, but if you know how to make a roux all well and good, you don't need to watch this step. But I'm just showing you people that don't or want to make a sauce for this. So now what we're going to do now is we're going to get a knob. A knob? How big's a knob? Well, I'll show you how big a knob is. About this big. So this butter I keep in the freezer. I don't keep it in the fridge, so I don't use it that often. I use margarine and olive oil. So in goes the knob. So right, keep an eye on the cabbage, don't let it dry out. So that ring was on maximum still. Now we're going to season it a little bit with some salt and brown pepper? No, black pepper. Don't go easy with the salt because the bacon's got salt in it. So if you put salt in, you can't take it out, remember? So just a little squashing of salt. Like that. And we're going to let that butter melt down. Now, whilst we're doing that, we're going to make... I've got to use corn flour for my sauces because that's good for me. It doesn't give me any of the heebie-jeebies. So we're going to go in with some sauce. So put some corn flour, milled corn flour in there. That's what it looks like, look. See? Corn flour. How much do you put in? Well, I reckon that's a tablespoon. Maybe that's 3 teaspoonsful. So we're going to put some cold water in this, right? Cold. How much water? Well, start off with a little bit. Let the tap run like that and go like that. again. It's starting to get thicker now, again. Right, it's getting there, it's getting thick, again. Again. Make sure there's no more little sticky bits in the bottom. Look, that's pretty much good there. And then just fill it up. Like that, we're going to go in there. So, the butter's already nearly melted there. It doesn't matter too much about the butter not being melted, but so we're going to go in with this corn flour, and we're going to put that in there like that. So this is going to be our look. There's a bit of corn flour stuck in the bottom there. Don't worry about that too much. Right. So this is going to be the sauce we're going to mix with that and serve it up. Let's have a look at this now. How do you check it's done? Well, I'll show you. As you can see, this pan is on max. Let's have a look at the water level in it. Look, it's still quite good. Right, is it cooked? I reckon it's nearly there. I don't like my cabbage too raw. No, I don't like it. It's the texture of it I don't like. So let's have a look. Let's hoof a bit out like this. Right, and we're gonna try it now. Nearly there. Needs another 5 minutes maximum. Oh, that's nearly there. That's good. Right, now what we're going to do with this sauce, let's put it on 5 minutes. Okay. Now we've got to keep an eye on this sauce now. Because we've added flour, we've got to make sure we cook out the flour. Well, what does that mean then, HowToBloke? Well, what that means is you've got to keep an eye on it and keep moving it and make sure it doesn't stick solid like a cake, like a thick gluey conglomeration. Because what happens is when the corn flour hits the hot, gets hot, it starts to thicken a lot. Now you're thinking, oh, that's a lot of sauce to go with that. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you don't use all of it, then well, you keep some. You can freeze it after it's cooled down. So let's have a look at this sauce. Now, we don't want this sauce too runny, so it's like milk. We want it a little bit thicker, so it sticks to the cabbage leaves once we've cooked the cabbage. And I'll show you what I mean. So right, let's keep doing that. Now, you're thinking, well, is this all the sauce? Well, you can add lots of things to this sauce. You can add a bit of mustard. In fact, we're going to do that. Bit of mustard. You can add a bit of nutmeg. You can add a bit of chili powder. Be careful with the chili powder. You can add a bit of chili powder. I've got to keep this moving. Because if you don't, you've got to be multitasking now. You don't get stuck to the pan and gets burnt, gets horrible. Right, cooking out. Is this sauce cooked yet? You've got to bring it up to the boil. Mustard. Right. Again, why are you putting mustard in it? For flavour. Do I have to put mustard in it? No, you don't. But I'm saying, if you like a little bit mustardy taste, you better taste the mustard much, really. So, there you go. You don't have to put garlic in it, remember? It's pretty good as is. Now, that's the sort of thickness, look, of the sauce that you want. So it's not thin like milk. No. If the sauce is getting too thick, just splash a little bit of milk in there and stir it around. Now we're cooking it out, means you've got to bring it up to the boil, watch it, make sure it doesn't get any thicker. Right, okay, that's done. Now we're going to turn that off. So that's it there. Okay, we're going to turn that off, and we're just going to wait for the cabbage now. The cabbage is 3 minutes. We'll come back after 3 minutes, okay, and we'll show you what to do. Okay, right, the cabbage is done now. It's just the beaver's gone off 5 minutes, so we're going to drain it. We're going to drain it. Now, we're going to drain it in the sink, obviously. Now, I've got a saucepan in there because I want to catch the juice. Because I'm going to make gravy from the juice. Not today, but I'm going to make gravy from the juice tomorrow. So, now we've got to do this carefully. And how are we going to do it carefully without any oven gloves? I don't know. Don't forget, it's steam. Steam is hotter than water and it will scald you, so be careful with it. Always handle it with care. So, come over here, camera person. Right, the cabbage has gone down half the height of that pot. No matter what pot you cook it in, it's gone down half the height. So you know it's going to be cooked. You could taste that if you wanted to. Of course you could. But, you know, I've tasted it before. I thought another 5 minutes, taste it again if you want, but I know that that's cooked. Right, let's go in here with this. So we're going to tip that out. Oh, steam. Right, so now you notice, look, there's hardly any juice in there, so I haven't got enough juice for my gravy tomorrow. But right, do I drain it out like that? Maybe there is some juice left in there. I don't know. No, none. Okay, so that was. You've got to be careful it doesn't dry out. Okay, so that's a good example of that nearly drying out. So put the cabbage back in there, like that. So, there it is. Look. Now if you served it up like that, yeah, of course you could eat it, but it's not going to taste of anything. So that's why we've made a sauce. So the sauce is here, look, camera person. There's the sauce, look how thick. That's the, don't want to be too, you want to cut it with a knife. It's just perfect, that is. Absolutely perfect. Right, excuse me. Right, we're going to go in here, I'm just going to plonk it in like that. Could you put a stock cube in with the cabbage whilst you're cooking the cabbage? Yes, you can if you want, but you don't need to because there's plenty of flavour in the sauce. Now, there we are, get all the last noggins out of that sauce. So it's all gone, look, see? Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to mix it. We're going to need two big spoons, so we're going to mix it like this. Look. So the sauce is not meant to sit on top of the cabbage. This goes great with roasts actually, and what do you call it? Festive season kind of food like turkey and roast pork and stuff. It's superb. My dad used to love this, and he thought it was pretty good. So as do I. Right, so. There we are, look. So now, all you cabbage naysayers out there, oh, I don't like cabbage, it doesn't taste very well. I'll tell you what, matey. You want to try some of this? Right, we'll serve it out. What do you serve it in? Well, it's a bit too rustic, but you could take it to the table with this. Let's take, if you took it to a nice serving bowl, I haven't got one. I don't think I've got a nice serving bowl in here. No, I haven't. And look. So we're just going to put it in an ordinary big bowl like this. And I'll show you what it looks like. So have you ever been wondering what that cabbage looks like, what it's going to taste like? You've seen it in the supermarket and thought, oh, no, it's really, really good. I wish I knew how to cook it. Well, now you do. Right, so there we are. I've never been a good food stylist or anything like that, so you just have to see like that. But apparently you eat with your eyes. Well, you do really, I suppose, but you can smell it. It smells superb. And the taste, oh, will be fantastic. I don't need to try it. My mouth is watering as I'm serving this. Right. How many servings have we made today? How many and all that? I reckon 4 or 5. I don't know about you, 4 and 5. I'm just going to have that bit. So, oh, that's good. Right. So, what can I say about this one? 2 things, you can't really go wrong with this. One, don't add too much salt because the bacon's got salt in it. Don't go crazy with any heavy. Just make, if you're going to do this for the first time, make the basic recipe, right? Like I've done it. And then you can tweak it. You can put in if you don't like garlic, don't leave it out, but you can put in your things, spices that you would put in, like nutmeg and mustard and all sorts of things. But there we are. So that would feed out of that. Well, I'd want half of that at least, and my wife would probably want half of that as well. So what's left? That's enough for easily for 4 hungry people. Again, serve that with sausages, meats, roasting, it goes great as a side. Not on its own, of course you have potatoes and carrots and other things, but for cabbage, don't forget, this time of year, November, December, cabbage is going to be a good value to buy. Cheap? No, not particularly cheap, but good value. Can you make this with a solid, ordinary cabbage, you see, with a smooth skin? Yeah, you can, but the best results are with curly kale or a crinkly cabbage like this. Okay, so I hope you like the today's recipe. Obviously back with some more. I've got some roasted vegetable things coming up. I've got some spaghetti carbonara coming up, all homemade of course, and I'll show you how to do that. But I've got some more food videos up here. I've got some quick tips up here. I've got some DIY jobbies down here, and if you want to subscribe to this channel, me, is down there. So until next time.